Hello there, fellow home cooks, and welcome to Solane Kitchen Moments. Dito mas pasasarapin natin ang usapan about food, travel, and life. For today, we have a very special guest. She's the personality behind Mesa ni Misis, and she's been known to debunk a lot of healthy eating misconceptions all over the web. So please welcome to the Solane Kitchen Moments stage, Miss Juana Yupangco. Hi, Juana.
Hi, Susie. Thank you for having me.
We're glad you could join us today. Now, you're known for healthy eating and all of that. Were you always a healthy eater when you were a child?
I'm a child of the 80s, so my mom would like to think that we ate healthy. But, truth be told, we grew up in the age of Spam and square ham that you cook with sugar, red hot dogs and chili, and you have one of each on your plate, and white rice.
With all the things that you mentioned earlier, which I thought was really, really good breakfast, diba? Because I also grew up, having that sort of meal around the house. So how was that shift like, though? I mean, what was the slow shift from usual eating to like a healthier eating?
Right. So I've always been very conscious, grass-fed beef, wild-caught salmon, chickens that were raised on the farm by one farmer, super particular to the point that I was kind of going nuts. I always ended up to the same answer. What has the least amount of pesticide, antibiotics, all that? It always came out. It's vegetables.
Wow.
So what really pushed me to go into it was a health scare. So my husband had very high cholesterol about 4 years ago now. He didn't want to take maintenance meds because that has a lot of side effects. He said, I'll try changing my diet. I said, let's become vegetarian. Let's take out the eggs. Let's take out the cheese. And then after a month of that, his cholesterol went down like 50 points.
Significant.
So I said, let's try one more month. Let's take out the cheese, let's take out the eggs. And then it went down even more. And eventually the kids joined us as well. So all very natural, nothing like one day we'll just stop na lang.
Because that also causes a lot of stress.
It does. On yourself, I think. If you try to pigeonhole yourself, I'm a vegan, I will never, ever touch meat. Parang it's a lot of pressure on yourself. What if you're not ready for that?
Sure.
So we did very organically.
So when you guys started on this journey, slowly but surely, was there a time that you guys would falter? But usually when there's a diet, there's like a cheat day or a cheat weekend. How was that for you guys?
So that's exactly it. We don't think of it as diet. It's a lifestyle. When you think of it as a diet, you're gonna cheat or you're gonna think you're entitled to a cheat weekend. It really became a lifestyle for us.
So I have to ask you, do you miss some stuff? Or how do you manage when you miss a certain type of food?
I think if there's anything I miss, it's the junk food. So Pringles and Cheetos. I know you like Cheetos. That's my parang it's junk food. Not so much meat or sausages. It's more the junk food. For me.
Because that contains no meat.
No meat, but it's junk.
But how wonderful that you guys are an exemplary family in that sense, because food is both, parang sabi nila, parang poison and medicine at the same time. How do you feel about the community, parang embracing it kahit little by little lang?
Definitely, it's definitely changed even from when we started 4 years ago until now. Just the availability of stuff in the Philippines.
Yes.
Abroad, of course, they're miles ahead. There's already so many choices, so many restaurants. But here, before, you wouldn't be able to find vegetarian menu, vegan menu. Wala.
Now, I have to ask, of all the yummy things, and I must say that vegan or vegetarian food have become very, very tasty na talaga and palatable for even those who are non-vegan or non-vegetarian. But is there a food or a dish that is reminiscent of your healthy journey?
I think that would be a dish that I made. It's my Upo Lasagna.
Upo Lasagna, but vegan. So wala siyang
cheese,
regular cheese.
No egg, no cream, nothing else. All gulay. And the reason that is my symbolic dish is because when I made it, I was really nervous. Like, oh my gosh, baka it's just me who likes it, and then became baka it's just my husband. But then back then I was doing a lot of like cooking demos like that, and people loved it, and I was like, really, they like it?
Gosh.
So I was like, okay, this works. It's working. Maybe I can do this. Maybe I can keep going.
And we're very lucky today on Solane Kitchen Moments because that's what you're gonna make for us in our kitchen.
Yes,
Yay.
I hope you enjoy it. Hope you like it.
Can't wait to try it. All right, we're now here in the kitchen, and Juana's gonna tell us about this dish that is reminiscent of her healthy journey.
Right. So I chose to make this dish for you today because this is the dish that I felt like when I made it, I was like, okay, I can cook. And then when other people showed me that they liked it, or they say, you know, we love this dish, I was like, okay, maybe I can do this. Maybe I have a future being a plant-based cook.
Oh.
So it is my Upo Lasagna.
Upo Lasagna, who would have thought? So what are the ingredients of the Upo Lasagna?
So the first ingredient, of course, is the upo. And this is like your noodle, your lasagna noodle. And if you imagine this is the whole length of the upo, we just cut the top so that it's like square.
Yes. And I love that you thought of upo kasi it's wide enough. It's almost as wide, or if not as wide, as a lasagna noodle.
Yes. Next we have tomato sauce. I actually have a recipe there for making roasted tomato sauce because our tomatoes here in the Philippines are a little bit sour, not like Italian ones.
Matamis, medyo matamis
Matamis,
konti.
and that's because of the soil. So my
Right.
solution to that is to roast
No.
it so that parang hindi sayang. Next we have hummus, which is super simple. This is cashew cheese. And this is another form of cashew cheese. And last but not least, this is my Kangkong Pesto.
Kangkong Pesto. Sabi ko, parang
Yes.
tama ba yung rinig kong Kangkong Pesto? Because pesto is usually made with basil leaves, and now you're using kangkong. It's probably cheaper, maybe.
So
I'm
cheap.
thinking, no?
10, 15 pesos for a bundle.
Right.
And I don't like to waste, so I use the whole thing.
People in the audience who are going to cook this for the very first time, any tips?
I guess the tip, I will repeat it again.
Yan.
Picking the upo, pick it as young as possible.
Young
The
upo.
skin is bright green.
Right.
Second tip is the hummus and the kangkong pesto. It's something I always have in my fridge. If my kids want a snack or dinner, or husband wants a snack, so we always have that. The pesto can stay for a month because
Right.
it's got oil and garlic,
Exactly.
which preserve it. Same as the hummus.
Okay.
I'll do
Ayan,
that.
excited na kami. Sige, please get started while we continue our
Alright.
chicken portion.
So we're gonna build a lasagna. Some people start by adding like tomato
Right,
at the
or
bottom.
oil.
Or oil,
Uh-huh.
so it doesn't stick.
Right.
I don't normally do it, but I will here.
So there's the beautiful upo that's para talaga siyang lasagna noodles, yung
Noodles.
itsura. So when did you start making this?
This is one of the first that I quote-unquote invented. So around 2017 when I was starting. So there, that's your first layer. And then I'm just gonna go ahead.
That's the hummus.
This is the hummus.
So would you say that takes the place of the cream?
the cheese, the cream.
Okay.
The pesto is the only one actually na medyo out of place, like a traditional lasagna. But I thought it would be nice to add color. So-
Right. Is this something that you would bring like for the rest of your family, not just for your kids and your husband, pero kunwari if there's potluck in
Oh,
your home,
yeah.
is this something that you would often bring?
It's a stunner. Like when the people, I'm making upo lasagna. What? So it's a crowd pleaser.
I love
it's it's one of those dishes that people are like, you made that?
Yes,
Wow.
yes. When a cook actually says, masarap yan.
I
Ay,
hope
nako.
I'm right. But this is after years of confidence building.
And also, did you have to tweak it? Like through the years since 2017, did you add stuff? Did you tweak stuff?
I have to say no. Maybe if ever there's anything I changed, it's the topping, the top layer of cheese. So you'll see the cashew cheese here. This is the one that we make.
Okay.
Gets a bit sticky like that. So another trick for this dish, I mix the tomato sauce now para
to
it
sort of
spreads,
loosen it up a
to
little
loosen
bit.
it up.
Yes, oo nga.
With cashew
good idea.
cheese. So this is made with almond milk or any plant milk. I'm so surprised, like more and more local groceries are carrying it, which just really shows me that people are seeing the need or there's a demand.
Yes. There you go.
Okay, so wonderful thing about this, you can be a little messy and it doesn't have to be perfect because when you put this cheese on top, it ties it all together. So this is like store-bought cashew cheese and you'll find it's a bit different. It crumbles and what I do with this is I freeze it and then grate it and then you have to use it right away.
Right away, yes.
But what I'm gonna do today is just cut thin pieces of it. So we're just gonna like slice this until we cover the entire thing. The great thing about this upo, not like a regular pasta, it's not gonna burn.
Wow, that looks good enough to eat already,
You could, if you wanted to.
Technically, parang pwede. So for how long in the oven and what's the temperature?
Around 45 minutes, 250 degrees Celsius. You can see like, so when you're baking it, take a peek at the oven, you'll see the water goes up, which is that's the water coming out of the upo. When that starts to go down, that's when you know like it's okay to eat na.
After 45 minutes, yeah.
So that's all the cashew cheese. And of course, since it's not like real dairy, it's gonna burn a bit. But I think it just adds like a nice crust.
Absolutely, which a lot of people won't mind. Alam mo mga Pinoy mahilig sa mga medyo crunchy yan eh. Oh my!
All right, so always with lasagna, it's a little bit tricky to cut. And especially more so with this Upo Lasagna because it's, can you see it's breaking? There it is, it's coming out.
Oh, there you go. Bravo! All right, I'm super excited to try this because I can smell it. It looks so good. Pero before that, I wanted to ask you because I think you brought a prized possession of yours that sort of symbolizes this healthy journey of yours.
So it's this. These are little drawings that my kids made.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, that my mom had like cast into gold. So apparently you can do that now. Once by my son, once by my daughter. And the reason that I think of it as part of my healthy journey is because I really got into health and wellness because of my kids. So this is something that I wear quite often just to remind me of them. And you know, this is why I'm doing it. So my husband and I can be around for our kids for a really long time. And hopefully they are healthy and don't get sick and all of that. That's why we really advocate this way of eating.
How wonderful. And of course, they're growing up also influenced heavily by you and your husband and how you eat things. And of course, if they eat yummy food naman at home, diba? Plus it's healthy pa. I mean, it's really such a super bonus. Thank you for sharing that with us. And thank you for making this, which finally we get to try, or I get to try.
So cheers.
Oh.
There, let me say.
That is good. Taste the pesto, the tomato. It's konting maasim, but it's so creamy also.
Yep.
It's beautiful. The texture also of the upo is just right.
Yeah.
It's not soggy. Wonderful upo lasagna. Thank you for sharing this with us.
You're welcome. I'm so glad you enjoyed it.
So if you guys want to try this recipe at home, pwede nyo i-screenshot itong page na to. Ayan. Para makuha nyo mga ingredients para makagawa din kayo ng sarili nyong upo lasagna sa bahay. That's all the time we have left for today's episode, but we hope to see you guys again in our future episodes dito sa show kung saan mas sumasarap ang kwentuhan with every dish na pinagsasaluhan. Itong Solane Kitchen Moments. Please follow Solane on Facebook and also subscribe to their YouTube channel. So see you again next time!